we were in rehearsals for almost 2.5 weeks. Michael had separate rehearsals with the choreographer, and then he came into us like a couple of days before we were shooting. And so when we saw him do the routine, it was like, oh, ours don't look like that. Like Mike was snap, crackle, like he was killing it. And we were like, oh, we got to step it up. So thank God we still had like some time to like get it together and really kind of like lock in. Artists always gravitate toward the dancers. Mm-hmm. They always find us in our corner, battling, working on moves. And Michael always hung out with us, like literally be like, yeah, that man, try this. And like, did he just curse?
Tell us about a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't. There's nothing better than this. Say what you mean, say what you mean, say what you mean, say what you mean, say what you mean. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Aida Rodriguez. Funny story about where that "it's your girl" came from on this episode. Thank you for joining me on yet another episode of Say What You Mean, where people come sit across from me and say those things they wish they would have said that they didn't. And you get to hear it here. But before we get started, you know, I always give you my own Say What You Mean. And this season, I decided to do it a little different. I'm going to give you a scenario. I'll tell you what the old Aida would have said, and now what the evolved Aida would say. So in a past relationship, my ex-boyfriend took the liberty to tell me that a friend that we had in common, a mutual friend, told him that he should not date me because I had low self-esteem. Now, the person who said this has low self-esteem. So it takes one to know one. But at the moment, I did have low self-esteem. I had just been through a really traumatic time in my life. And my initial reaction was to say to my ex, why your goofy ass telling me what some other dude said? That's real like of you. Why are you coming back running behind some other man telling me what that man said? You need to get yourself together. Evolved Aida would say, that wasn't very healthy for you to agitate my wound. You knew what I had been dealing with, and you said that to be mean, and I hope you heal. Moving on. Now we can get this show started. My next guest coming to the stage, as we say in stand-up comedy, is someone who is iconic. But I hate to say icon and legend because I feel like people weaponize that to make people sound old and feel old. I feel like you can be iconic when you're 22 because iconic means that you do stuff that stands out and influences culture. And that's exactly what she's done. You know her from Rap City, House Party. She's a radio personality. She was in the Remember the Time video. She was one of those people that you saw and you knew that dancing is art and the way she expressed herself. She's the very first person I ever heard say, it's your girl. She gave herself to the community. And now when we say it, we are paying homage to her. So can you please put your hands together for Leslie Seeger, also known as Big Les, because she thick.
Hi, girl.
Hi, thank you for being here.
I'm so excited because you know I adore you. I love
Same.
you. I just love you're just funny but intelligent and just politically savvy. And you represent women in the classiest way possible. I love it. And you're like not afraid to say what's on your mind and on your heart and on your chest. And I'm like, that's my spirit right there. That's my girl. So.
I appreciate it. You see how that countered that low self-esteem comment? I really appreciate that. You came in here, you brought flowers for me and Vanessa. And that's just who you are. I have never been in your presence when you were not pleasant.
Oh, thank you.
You've always shined. You have no problem just giving it to other people. And that's where that it's your girl. That's the energy. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that. Tell me how did you get here? Because it's a goal for me.
I mean, I'm just happy to be alive, right? Like seriously, there's not a day that I don't wake up that I'm not grateful for the gifts that I have, especially with this body and what it's been able to do when so many people have doubted it. I'm grateful for the family that I have, like a mother who clueless about gymnastics or sports or entertainment, but still supported me, you know? Grateful that I've had family members who have struggled with health, but I'm one of the healthy ones in my family. So that I don't take for granted too. So I have nothing to be mad at. Like even on the worst day, you really have nothing to be mad at. It's like everything is going to work itself out. So I kind of just move in that way. I don't have evil intentions toward anybody. I treat
that.
people with respect. And so I think I get it back, except for those that we'll talk about later that, when I got to say something off my chest, I'm going to have to say it.
Okay. And she got good teeth too.
I have braces from 6th to 8th grade, and I sleep in Invisalign. So that's it. Because
y'all privileged people with them braces when y'all were younger. Ooh. The Lord knew it wasn't gonna happen for me.
It was traumatic, girl. I've had like 8 teeth pulled. I used to have a gap. I had retainer. I had the rubber bands. I had the mouthpiece. It was a whole thing. It was not cute.
But you know what's funny? Like there are no realities, just perception, right? I always wanted braces. Like it was a symbol of your mama care about you. 2, y'all can afford to have braces. But there was I think it was Tootie from Facts of Life. It was Kim Fields. There was something about braces that looked cool to me. I don't know. Like now we're so superficial and everybody's trying to look perfect. But I remember a time with appreciating our imperfections and just being like, this is where I am now. It was a stage of life.
I know. But I'm having a harder time accepting it now between the gray hair and the glasses. Like I've always had perfect eyesight. And now I'm like, I can't see nothing. And I got to wear reading glasses. And so it's doing a little something to my self-esteem at this stage, this age. Like for real, my 40s, as I still look 25, but my 40s were like sort of traumatic for me. So I'm kind of in a better place now that I'm like past that.
Looking at you and you say my 40s, and it's like, not to diss anybody else, but I'll see people who are like in their 20s and 30s and they look so much older because it's what you're talking about. It comes from the inside out. And this is not like a generational fight like Gen X versus Gen Z.
Right. I
know some beautiful young people that look youthful and fresh. But I think that it has a lot to do with how you feel, the way you look.
For sure.
And so I'll tell you, I've had bad vision my whole life. Not bad vision, but not perfect vision. But I wouldn't wear my glasses because I was vain. And now I wish I would have worn my glasses because now my vision is so bad. Like I have to wear 2 different contacts.
Really?
Yes, I have an astigmatism, and I've really ruined my vision for that reason. So. I like wearing my glasses now.
But they look good and it's fashionable and they've changed the whole thing. Well, these aren't prescription. These are just because I did my own makeup and I don't trust myself. I don't trust my own hands. But I got Peter Pan syndrome. I'm like seriously in denial about wearing my glasses and again, the gray hair and all these things that happen at this day. I don't want to grow up ever. I want to mature. I want to get older, but I don't want to like emotionally grow up.
You want to hold on to your youth?
For sure.
But it lives in you. I think some people are just maintain this youthfulness. Every episode of 911, when I see Angela Bassett being a cop and doing what she does, I'm like, one can only hope.
For real.
To be that, that, and I know that is her mindset. Like she is a champion. And I know somebody in the writer's room that said she knows all her lines all the time. Like he was like, she is off book and she is to the letter.
Absolutely.
And I was like, man, I ain't never been to the letter.
Which is why you have excelled in the way that you have, right? Because they've been able to go left and then come back and still be on point. And if I go left, I don't remember any. I'll be like, what was I talking about?
Oh, that happens to me
too. It's a skill.
I have ADHD, so for me, it's like, and I got diagnosed and I had to take that medication because if I don't take that medication, we would have been talking about boats right now. So. Exactly. So can you think of a moment where you wish you would have said something and you didn't?
Oh my gosh. I think I'm big on loyalty.
Yeah.
And so when people are disrespectful and disloyal, it burns my soul to the core. I cannot sleep. I almost become a vigilante. Like I know, God will take care of all things and whatever. I'm like, no, I need to happen in my time. I need to see it happen. I need to see that karma like right now if I have to make it happen myself. And so, yeah, 2 people, one of whom who most of my dance career was side by side with, did something just really foul to the point where they cut my throat, took money out of my pocket. I never saw it coming. I was the maid of honor in their wedding. I was the godmother to their child, like all the things. And I got a phone call from this advertising agency and this whole story just they told me that they almost got fired behind the fact that this person didn't want to hire me or didn't hire me because the company hired me themselves. And I went, how do we go from being best friends to you taking money out of my... And so I really had to talk myself off the ledge. Like, I'm nice until I'm not.
Okay.
You know, I'm a New York chick, I'm Sagittarius, whatever, all the things that you think, I'm nice until I'm not. And then the other side of me, my soul is black. So it took all I had not to like go to this person's doorstep and end up in an orange jumpsuit by 6 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
you know, I'm proud of myself that I didn't do that.
I'm proud of you too.
Thank you, because it really would have been a thing, you know.
We have jumpsuit behavior. So
Absolutely. Tim's on, the hat to the back, like the whole Scully, like the whole thing.
Yes.
For real. And then the other would have been probably with one of my exes who, after 17 years together, and you think everything is fine, you're still affectionate, you're still communicating, you're still loving, you're still traveling, and you find that there's been like 900 other women.
Oh, dang.
And when they put your health at risk, and like when you're trying to start a family and you're spending all this money on treatments and all these other things, and you find out that there's other people in play, that you talk about you want peace, but you bring chaos to the doorstep.
Oh, wow.
I had to stop myself from picking up the red phone, because we all know when you call Pookie and them, and it really got to that point where you start acting outside of yourself. And so, I mean, it got to the point where I got justice, legal justice, because you can't be together that long. And even though California doesn't have common law, they have something else, which is called Marvin versus Marvin. I was able to, they looked at our situation as a marriage, and I was able to be like, well, you're not going to just be able to walk away and start over. So I got some retribution in that sense. But, you know, it still eats at your soul about how dare you. You know,
So look into the camera and just say what you would say.
Ooh. To you two, disloyal motherfuckers. The old Leslie would have said, I hope you get killed tomorrow. I hope you die a horrible death. And I hope I see you burning on the street. And even though I don't smoke, that I ask someone for a cigarette and a light, and I step over your bodies while you are burning in flames.
Okay.
The evolved Les still thinks that.
A little bit.
But I hope you regret for the rest of your life that you lost someone who was genuinely and truly loyal, respectful, and loved you. And I hope it hurts your heart till the end of your days. That's it.
Wow. The evolved Les still brought the heat. I was like, John.
But I can sleep better at night now, right? I don't wake up, like I'm not in my sleep fighting. And you know how you just can't sleep and you're thinking about who to call and what to do and, you know, all the things that I'm not even there anymore. I went to therapy. Therapy's beautiful. It's the best gift you can give to yourself. 2-3 years, they kicked me out because we were having such a good time. They're like, you don't need us. I was like, but girl, she's like, no.
Oh man, I can't wait to graduate from therapy.
Yeah. It's the bomb. I tell people it's the best gift you can give yourself. It really is. Because then it becomes less about the problem, more about you. Then you start pulling back the layers and really discovering all the things that you wish you could have, should have. And I had girls who were younger than me. It's like, what are these young girls going to teach me about therapy? They came in textbook ready.
Yep.
And I just had to do the homework. And every time I felt lighter and lighter leaving my sessions. And I was like,
yeah. This whole idea that we can't learn anything from young people is so dumb. Like we are village people. That's where we came from. And the whole community is supposed to pour into each other. Yeah. Like they'd be like, shut your old up. You ain't what nobody think. Like you see, like somebody disrespected. Oh, it was Smokey Robinson on on social media from the red carpet, and I was like, I was there. I was with him that night, but I didn't know that I would have checked it if I would have been there. I was so humbled to be in his presence.
Right.
I was like, this is royalty, right? Like. And just to hear the disrespect going in every way is why it's so easy for others to come into our communities and tear us apart.
Absolutely.
Because we don't have that respect and solidarity.
Absolutely. It's heartbreaking.
Well, I'm glad you got that off your chest. So every episode we read a story that someone shared with us. People have been walking up to me telling me, I got this story. And what we do is I read it. And then you tell me what you think. Should they have said it or should they have kept it? It's called the should have kept it. segment. This was actually somebody told me this. They didn't write this one in, and I didn't know how to respond. I was hanging out with friends for a girls' dinner at another friend's house. My husband, who is African American, walked in the house to pick me up. One of the women present, who I just met, asked my husband who he was there for, and I jumped up and responded, "He is mine." My African American girlfriend said slavery is over, and I told her to get over it. I was claiming my man. Should I have kept that?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
you say, listen, your first reaction is usually your truest reaction, right? And even saying, well, that's my man is not necessarily a possessive statement, but he's with me too, right? Could be another connotation. But I'm sure he felt good about her saying, that's right. She's mine, I'm his. And I'm sure when they got home, it was on and popping that night. So I don't think you should worry about how people necessarily receive you and your relationship. But if that's how you feel in the moment about your man, I don't think it was even if she meant it like, back off, honey, he's with me, then okay, stake your claim. And she learned a lesson and she knows to stay on the other side of the room too.
Well, it was because the girl, when she said he is mine, the girl was like, she said the girl was like, hey, you don't claim, you sound like Donald Trump when he was like, that African American is mine. Right. She said slavery is over, but she told her get over it. But she was like, I wasn't talking about slavery. I was just like, relax, chick. And I was like, sometimes you just don't let it keep going because it just keeps getting worse. Because she was the only white woman, and she said that everybody else was a woman of color.
See, and that changes it too. Well, she could have kept that slavery because that turns into a whole other thing. And
no, the black woman said slavery is over.
Okay.
And she said, just get over it. Like, but she was just like, get over this moment. And the girl thought she said, get over slavery. I told her maybe you should get some new friends.
Yeah, that part too. Ooh, that. Yeah. See, I think in the room in that moment too, all of us would have been like, oh. No, she didn't. And it really would have been like, oh, wait a minute. Hold up. She did. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, too, I think we feel when we see interracial relationships or whatever, that white women get a pass. Or, and I just had this conversation, too, right, with someone who, because a white woman was dating a black guy, and I've dated white guys before, like it's not even about that. But because she's sassy and flip at the mouth, that gives her a pass and she's down and she's acceptable, and that's their way of coping, their coping mechanism for dating a white woman versus if a black woman said the same thing, oh, she got an attitude problem, she's sassy, she's this. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of sensitivity that's involved in that whole statement that could have gone left like, what?
She told me that what she thought was that her husband is really attractive. And this is the first time this woman had been in their circle. So when she was like, she really was like, who is that? Like, it was more like that. But when she realized that he was with the white girl, she was salty. And so that's why she hit her with the slavery thing. Right. I don't know, because I wasn't there. This person, I know them, and they don't, I don't put my hand in the fire for anybody but these people that I know for real. But I don't think that's not the energy that she gives. But I just thought it was interesting because she was like, she said that it caused a stir. Yeah. And then somebody else had to explain to her why black people don't need to get over slavery. She was like, that's not what I meant.
Right. Woo, that's a heavy moment. Yeah, you definitely had to be in a room for that to really kind of like catch the vibe of like how it was said. Yeah, because there's so many feelings and emotions just with a black man dating a white woman and absolutely. Vice versa. So.
And I think like now you're not interacting with, and it's always been this way. We just acknowledge it. When you're having conversations with people, you are interacting with their wounds. And so sometimes you're not really having a conversation with that person. You having a conversation with the little girl who didn't get any hugs.
Absolutely.
The boy who used to get beat by his mom in public or whatever it is. That's what you're dealing with. And that's why now I'm choosing my words more carefully, because when you hear these stories of people getting shot in traffic, this is not what this is about. This is about some old stuff. So that is why I feel like words are very important.
I agree.
All right, this next section is about you. It's for us to get to know you better. It's our rapid fire questions. It's called Say It With Your Chest, Liz. Smash or pass group birthday dinners? Everybody does.
I'm pass. You know why? And can I tell you why?
Yes.
One is because I don't eat red meat.
Okay.
I don't eat seafood. I don't eat pork, and I don't drink wine. Vodka, tequila, whatever, maybe some chicken. But when the bill comes around and I got to pay like $300 for having broccoli and rice, I'd be like mad as hell. Like, it's better that I just take you out by myself and we can spend $300 that way. But me having to pay for everybody else's shenanigans at the table, yeah, no.
That's funny. Would you rather online shopping or the mall?
Online shopping.
How old were you when you did your first dance recital dance?
It was gymnastics for me. And I was probably 9 or 10.
Fight or flight, 1 7-foot marshmallow man. You fighting or you leaving?
7-foot marshmallow man. I'm fighting.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
That sounds like fun, right?
It does. Squishy, messy. Yeah, absolutely.
If you could say anything to your favorite teacher, what would it be?
Well, my favorite teacher is my gymnastic coach,
Okay.
Damon Albert. He's the person I spent the most time with, even more so than your parents, right? When you're in sports, I've been in sports my whole life. And he has always said, you got punished for saying, I can't. Anytime anybody on the team either showed up late or saying, I can't, you had to do laps, you had to do push-ups or whatever, which has stuck with me forever. I say I try, and then I show up on time for everything. And to him, I just say, thank you. Because he didn't sign up to be anybody's parents, right? But he really was like a parent. So I just say he helped me get my scholarship to college. And thank you. I love you. I am forever grateful. Forever. You are in my trust, and I know you didn't know that, so thank you.
So can we talk about dance for a little bit?
Let's do it.
I always think about you living single, right? That was you.
That's me.
And you know what's really, the other day there was this thing going around, if you could bring back one show, what would it be? And it was like Living Single, Martin, and it was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There were 4 shows, and Living Single and Martin were the 2 most popular shows. But so many younger women were like, living single, living single. Those moments are just frozen forever in time, and they're iconic. Like, how did that go? Who called you for that? Who was like?
First, I had no idea what I was getting into, but here's really the story for me. For those of you who don't know who Otis Salid is a directographer. So if you saw School Days, he's the one who choreographed and directed like Good in Black Hair. Gotta be good in black hair, all the dance scenes in that, which I wish I could have been a part of. I fell in love with that, fell in love with his work. And then he was working on Malcolm X with Spike Lee. I think I was on tour with, I don't know, Bobby Brown or someone, but Lorianne Gibson and I had danced together, and she was actually working with Otis while they were doing Lindy Hop, which is like my favorite dance. So when I got off tour, she's like, come by rehearsal, I'll introduce you to him. So we met, but it was too late for me to join because they were already 2-3 weeks into rehearsals, and I was sick about it. But I got on the film doing some extra work. And I don't remember us exchanging numbers, but I think he probably got it from Lorianne. And I get a phone call, and Otis is on the other line. And, you know, it's literally like Michael Jackson called. Like, who is this? Stop playing. Because he, to me, was like my Michael Jackson. When you revere someone for their work. And he's like, Les, it's Otis. I have this project that I want to shoot. I don't have the deal yet, but I have it in my head about what I think it could look like, and only you can deliver.
Oh, that's
Say
so
less.
Awesome.
Say less. That you don't even think people are watching you. And that's one thing I learned during my career, is that people like Prince and John Singleton and knew who we were as dancers. And I just was like, really? Because you don't think about that. You're so busy just going gig to gig. And so he called me, and we spent the day under the Brooklyn Bridge doing on cobblestone, and I'm doing all kinds of back flips, front flips, the whole thing for hours. And so when I see his final edits, there's 2 versions, one where you'll see a front flip and one where there are no flips at all. And so in my head, because that's like my signature of gymnastics, it's like, dang, he didn't use any flips. But that's the genius of Otis Salid, is that less is more, and you didn't need it. And he knew what he wanted to see. So then we both get the call that they accepted his pitch for it to be the opening scene. And he's like, negotiate your deal. This is what I negotiated, blah, 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 blah. But who knew that 30 years later, this thing is still on the air, which is crazy to me, that even people who see me on the street recognize me. And with dance, it's weird. People recognize me from the back. So because I've got like broad shoulders, especially then I was really muscular.
Yeah.
But they recognize me either from dance or from Rap City. There's only people who know me just from radio. Like it's, there's some people who only know me from Def Comedy Jam who don't know that I actually danced or choreographed. So it's crazy. And I never got to meet Yvette Lee Bowser until the last 3 years, who created Living Single, which is insane. I tried to get on the show back then as an actor. Like I had in my head, I'm going to be the neighbor upstairs who's always in rehearsal, and then with an artist, and then they're going to come up and it's going to create a whole storyline, but they wouldn't even see me at the time. And I think because people have a hard time translating dancers as actors, especially then, right? Because that was just the beginning of people like Queen Latifah and Will Smith being MCs, becoming actors, because they could have a soundtrack built into the movie, and let's bring that audience over. Usually when it's dance and acting, theater, yes, you automatically, chauffeured in. But even like Jennifer Lopez had to make dancing go away for people to take her seriously as an actor. And then you can come back and bring it. And so I think at that time, they just weren't ready to see me as an actor, even though I had been doing Off-Broadway and all these other things. So I know that was a long response.
No,
to
I
Living
love it.
Single, but it's the gift that keeps on giving. And I just never saw it coming. But here's the funny thing about Living Single and about Rap City. I had auditioned to be a fly girl and didn't get it. I was told I needed to lose 10 pounds. Mind you, I got like 8% body fat at the time, but they already knew who they wanted. And they made us kind of go through the whole audition process, and I didn't realize it was a publicity stunt at the time. But I was sick about it. I was devastated. Like I was just ready to quit dancing, F this industry. Like I was all in my feelings. And rejection is God's protection. You literally don't know what is around the corner. And then Living Single happened, and then Rap City happened. And I was like, fly girl, who, what?
Yeah. You became someone, you became other than a dancer. You people know you for so many things. Like every time I hear somebody say, it's your girl, I always think about you, because I remember you were like, for me, that's always been something because of where I come from. Like to see Black and brown people say that they belong to you when you are in the hood and you don't have a lot of money, and you see somebody who made it and they're still like accessible to you or feel accessible to you. It always feels like such a good thing. And when you were doing Remember the Time, when you guys, did you think that was going to become, I mean, it's Michael Jackson. You think Michael Jackson's always going to blow, but did you realize like what a big moment that was for Blackness, just to see a Black king, a Black queen, and you're just part of like a moment in time that is magic.
Yeah, I think I spent more time realizing what it meant for me as a dancer than I thought for the community itself until later on, right? Because that was like an audition we had heard about. And when I say we, there's a bunch of us dancers in New York City. We used to live in Washington Square Park. We were broke. We didn't have any money, and then we, find out that there's an audition like 3 days later in LA. And, I'm like, Mom, I need money for a plane ticket. Like, she's done. Went to college. What are you doing with your life? What's this dancing? What's happening? I'm like, Mom, I'm telling you, I can book it. It's Michael, blah, blah, blah. So she gives me the money, and there are no promises that are made. But, here we are on the audition. And this is when I realized again that people are watching you, because John Singleton knew who 90% of us were. And some of the guys had danced for like Mariah Carey. We had all been out with like Bobby and Mary, J. Blige, like all these people. And he was like, he created a budget for us to have per diem. He put some people up in hotels, and probably 90% of us who went out there got the job. And I wish we could have had cameras, right? Because this is when you show up to Universal Studios and you're not part of the tour. Your name is on the door. Your name is on the wardrobe rack. And you're like, oh my God, I remember standing at the gate crying because my name was on the list to get in. And it was just like, wait, this is really happening. And then, of course, imagine now we got Magic Johnson, so half the NBA is on set. We got Iman, so half the supermodels are on set. He just came off of Boys in the Hood, so half of the West Coast rappers are on set. Like everybody's comedians, Eddie Murphy, like it's a thing. And then we didn't rehearse with Michael we were in rehearsals for almost 2.5 weeks. Michael had separate rehearsals with the choreographer, and then he came into us like a couple of days before we were shooting. And so when we saw him do the routine, it was like, oh, ours don't look like that. Like Mike was snap, crackle, like he was killing it. And we were like, oh, we got to step it up. So thank God we still had like some time to like get it together and really kind of like lock in. And then they had given us like all these instructions. You got to sign your life away. Don't look at him. Don't ask about bubbles. Don't, the whole thing. Don't talk like none. But artists always gravitate toward the dancers. They always find us in our corner, battling, working on moves. And Michael always hung out with us, like literally be like, yeah, that man, try this. And like, did he just curse?
Yeah, I heard he was a rogue.
Yeah, because you forget that these people are human, and that the only thing that separates them, with their greatness, obviously, is just, a paycheck, or the notoriety, but they still just want to be treated like one of, and we don't want anything from them as dancers, right? We're not hounding them. We're not their family asking them for money. Come sign this. We're just there. And he really was chilling with us. And that kind of spawned into us meeting Janet. And when I say us, it was me, Fatima, Tish, and myself moving into Janet's
Mm-hmm.
house. But John Singleton was like, I need her to be around some homegirls or whatever to get her ready for Poetic Justice. And so we lived with Janet in Malibu for months at a time, which was, I never saw that coming either.
Wow.
Crazy.
Only y'all say what you mean. Nah, you get the inside scoop. So what do you have going on? Tell people what you have going on, how they can find you, how they can support you, what's next.
I'm trying to be grown up. Debbie Allen set the precedence of transitioning out of dance and what happens next. And even though I've had 10,000 jobs, I'm moving into the directing space.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to do a dance documentary, which, we represented the golden era of hip hop. We're talking a full decade of the most expensive videos, of the most expensive tours, phenomenal artists, amazing visuals. But there's a story for myself and the BBD dancers and the Fly Girls, and that needs to be told. And I feel like I need to be the one to tell it. So
I'd agree.
These meetings, though, when you hear Viola Davis say Lion King took 8 years, I get it. Because they're like, well, we need a bigger name and we need this. And I'm just like, y'all are getting on my nerves, but I'm going to make it happen no matter how long it takes,
I feel
I'm wrestling with, the story's more about you than it is about them. And so that's that whole self-reflection of I guess I do have a story, and now I got to figure out how that comes into play as well, right? Because it seems egotistical to be like me, I, but then you erase yourself from history if you don't tell your story.
You're the way in. You are the tour guide for that, and anybody who saw you dance, I would immediately identify you, right? I knew who you were, and I was like, that's they don't know about this generation, and some of them do because they know the dancers. But we were like, that's my favorite dancer. I know this dancer. She always gonna bring it, and that kind of stuff. It means something. How do they find you on social media? How do they follow you?
At I am Leslie Segar, LESLIESEGAR on all platforms. LeslieSegar.com, all the things. You can find me. Google me. It'll lead you right there.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, girl. I love you.
I love you back.
I respect you.
You are love. Even though you said you got a black soul. I never expected that coming from you, setting people on fire, adding a cigarette to them. I was like, wait a minute.
Because I'm nice.
Yeah,
I don't bother anyone. I don't steal. I don't I'm nice.
I believe it.
But if you do so, you gotta be careful with them people that had braces. I'm still you're around the way, girl.
Them people that had them braces,
right?
They will set you on fire.
We had to get them tightened every Saturday, so I don't
know nothing about that. But we'll see you next time here on Say What You Mean. We want to invite you to follow us on social media at SWYM Pod on all social media platforms. If you are listening, please hit the subscribe button if you're on Spotify or Apple. If you are watching, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to give us your rating and your review, and we will see you next time on Say What You Mean.